What if I told you that America's national anthem was basically written by a guy having the worst night of his life, watching his country get absolutely demolished by the British, and that this terrible evening turned into the most patriotic poem in U.S. history? Well, buckle up, because September 14th, 1814 gave us one heck of a story. It's 1814, and America is basically that scrappy younger sibling who picked a fight with their big brother Britain. Again, we're in the middle of the War of 1812, and things are not going well for Team USA. The British had just burned down Washington, D.C., yes, the entire capital city, and now they're heading for Baltimore like they're on some historical rampage tour. Enter Francis Scott Key, a 35-year-old lawyer who's about to embark on the most stressful business trip of his life. So here's where it gets wild. Key wasn't even supposed to be there. He was on a diplomatic mission to negotiate the release of an American prisoner aboard a British ship. But here's the kicker. The British basically said, yeah, you can have your guy back, but you're staying here until we're done bombing Fort McHenry. Imagine being trapped on an enemy ship, forced to watch your own country get attacked. Key spent the entire night of September 13th watching the British Navy absolutely unleash on Fort McHenry. We're talking 25 hours of non-stop bombardment, 1,500 cannonballs and rockets lighting up the sky like the world's most terrifying fireworks show. Key was probably thinking, well, this is it. Baltimore's done for. America's done for. I'm definitely not getting home for dinner. But then, plot twist, as the sun came up on September 14th, through all the smoke and chaos, Key squinted across the water and saw something absolutely incredible. The American flag was still flying over Fort McHenry. Not just any flag, mind you. This was a massive 42 by 30-foot flag that basically screamed, "We're still here," to anyone within miles. The fort had held, Baltimore was saved, America was still in the game. Key was so pumped up by this sight that he immediately started scribbling down a poem on the back of a letter. Talk about being inspired by your morning commute. Here's the beautiful irony. Key originally titled his poem Defense of Fort McHenry, which, let's be honest, sounds like a really boring history textbook chapter. But this poem eventually became the Star-Spangled Banner, and in 1931, it officially became our national anthem. So the next time you're struggling to hit those high notes at a baseball game, just remember, you're singing a poem written by a guy who had probably the most stressful night of his life, watched his country get bombed, and somehow turned it into the most inspiring lyrics in American history. And that's how September 14th, 1814 gave us our national anthem, born from one man's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad night that turned into America's greatest "we're still standing" moment. Sometimes the best art really does come from the worst circumstances. What's your favorite underdog story from history? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more wild historical tales that prove truth really is stranger than fiction.